ripping us off right away. You come in the show. Is this?
Nope.
Swiped. Yeah. No. Me and language is very, very bad.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Also, I'm not very good at accents either, so.
That is 100% correct.
Maybe I'll work on it. Maybe I won't. We don't know.
Well, accents, I can only do like a couple words before I start to sound like me.
So you're not very good at accents either?
No. I remember China. I was like, oh, I can at least get that Irish accent down. And then it would turn into Australian. A few words into the sentence.
All my accents bleed into Rafiki from The Lion King, and it's not good. It's not.
But your Rafiki good? No.
Because, like, my Rafiki, it used to be. I used to be pretty good at Rafiki.
Yeah.
But now, I'm just not. Like, it's just, like, all my accents bleed into Rafiki from The Lion King, but my actually trying to do Rafiki from The Lion King is really bad now. I don't even know why I thought that was going to be a valuable accent to, like, know and be good at. Like no, like, now it's just racist. Like, I don't know. Luckily, I'm black, so I can pull it off. But,
yeah, that's true.
Like, you can't be a white person, like trying to come up as Rafiki from The Lion King.
No.
Luckily, I pass under the radar. It's kind of nice, but
I mean, if you're white, you can get some leeway in there. If you have a dashiki.
No.
Yeah, if you got like the whole Kente vibe going on.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Because you're woke.
No.
I saw a video,
Don't
man.
Nancy Pelosi this. This is not, that's not what we're doing.
With the Kente cloth and just...
Yeah, or that, there's like this video where this like white woman is dancing in front of all these like African children. Have you seen that?
No, but...
There's this white woman.
It's
she's
more
like,
than one video.
I'm sure. She's like, but this is like in Africa.
Yeah.
She's like hip hop dancing in front of these African children.
Oh, she's got the long dreads.
Yes.
Yeah. It's horribly
So Rachel
funny and bad.
Dolezal?
No. Speaking of which, there's another lady who did a thing. She was a college professor. And she was teaching like...
Jessica Craigman.
I don't know names.
Yeah. I follow Mark Lamont Hill, and he was...
Yeah. So she was doing a couple things. She was teaching like ethnic studies. And then on top of that, she's apparently like shaming people for not being like down with the cause.
She was race facing as a Puerto Rican.
Race facing?
Yeah. She was doing Rachel Dolezal. She was passing herself off as a Puerto Rican,
as like
minority.
Yeah, like black and Puerto Rican.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It was. Here's the thing. That's not allyship. We don't need that.
Well, she did cancel herself and said that everyone else should absolutely do the same thing.
Yeah, she gets nothing. She gets no... Because if you're going to... you could have canceled yourself 20 years ago. Like, I don't... or just not have done this. Like, you get no real, I don't know, kudos for me for being like, oh, I'm going to call myself out. That's just attention seeking. You could have called yourself out by disappearing and just, not being all public about your whatever.
Well, I mean, maybe she finally had a realization with everything that's going on. With the protests,
So
pandemic.
here's the thing. I can have a realization about something.
Yeah.
And everyone doesn't need to know. Like, if I make that realization, super public and super oh, look at me. I have come to the, I just don't need to do that. Maybe I need to sit down somewhere and figure my stuff out.
Well, yeah, but...
And I don't need to be public about that.
Are you wearing your look right now?
What look?
That look.
Oh, my... What look? I have no idea what you're
talking about. Your tropicalness you got. You got tropical hair, man.
This is just my hair.
How much water does it hold?
I don't know.
Tropical.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so lost. What does that mean?
See,
Yes.
Your complexion and your hair are all tropical naturally.
Okay.
You have those nostrils that breathe in the white man's air naturally. You can walk around at night with nature's camouflage naturally. This woman, what's her name? Jennifer.
It's like Krug something. I'm trying to look it up.
Jessica Jennifer Krugman.
Something like that.
She was like, yo, she was just washing her face one day and all that black came off of her face. And she was just like,
she never had black on her face.
Oh, no, it was just Krug.
Krug?
Jessica Krug. I was thinking of that Paul Krugman, the idiot who was talking about, like, reaction to 9/11 was relatively calm on the first day.
Oh, I remember him saying that.
Yeah. Oh.
Over 9/11.
Yeah, that's revisionist history.
You retweeted some response that I had made towards that guy.
Oh, yeah,
His name is Paul Krugman.
Yeah.
But this lady's name is Jessica Krug.
Jessica Krug. Well,
are these C's or K's?
K's.
Okay.
Well, obviously.
She's a Jewish American. Krug and Krugman.
Yeah. So with that, welcome everybody to episode 5 of Black Apple Pie podcast. So I was hand feeding them. They were like, all right, cool. We're kind of friends now. What an introduction.
You gotta use the tagline?
What an introduction.
Oh, no, that's an exit tagline, isn't it?
That's not an exit tagline.
No, I'm saying we have an exit tagline
we do.
You're very excited about.
Yeah, I forgot what that one was. Jessica Krug's Lies sickened editor who published her book.
Yeah, this is her coloring her skin.
Yeah. She's doing the Ariana Grande thing.
What is the Ariana Grande thing?
Have you seen her?
Like when she doesn't have a tan?
Yeah, when she, yeah.
Oh, no.
Right now, I'm in a state of mind.
I would join you, but I don't know that song. You know, I don't like to keep people hanging when they sing.
Yeah, you're right.
But I do not know that song.
I love that song.
I'm glad. Also, Ariana Grande can sing.
She can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but she still puts on her face, so.
Doesn't everybody put on their face, though?
Who?
I mean, okay, sure.
Like Jessica Krug? Let me go ahead and get this shoe polish. Go ahead.
I don't think it was shoe polish.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
Okay. I was like, because that would be a very different thing.
Yeah, so you were gone for a week. Right?
Yes, I was.
I was gone for a week.
You were.
You had a birthday.
I was mentally
Yeah. How was everybody's trips? Or in your case, how was your birthday?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Good, man. I'm glad. Happy birthday. I was gonna throw an age in there, but I want to.
I'm 37.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, what? Mark time. All right.
37.
So I'm 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do y'all feel about this question I want to ask you earlier? Accents as far as like in comedy, like how do y'all think them being used in like certain bits at the expense of other people?
I'm talking about like stand up?
Like stand up even, or even as like just like jokes between friends. Like when is it not okay?
Man, I have a rule.
Yeah.
That's like not hard and fast, but like it's the rule that I kind of go by, and I kind of hold generally everyone to this. And it's very like independent, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. But my rule is if you're going to, and this is kind of like all kind of like, you know, borderline racist, borderline like whatever jokes, like with the exception of rape jokes, because I just don't think rape jokes are funny in any context. But if you're going to say something that's borderline offensive, it needs to be so funny that I'm willing to forgive like how offensive it's about to be. If it's anywhere close to not that funny, you need to know and not say it. That's kind of how I feel. And so at some point, like, you know, and don't get me wrong, like I forgive a lot of comedy because I think like generally they're doing the best they can and they probably like think something funny. And comedy in itself is a lot of like workshopping stuff. And so like, especially if you're like workshopping stuff, I'm willing to like kind of like let you toe the line and stuff, but also like live in the world. Like know when it's a bad time to make that joke.
Read the room.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's better than live in the world. But
that's what we say these days.
Yeah, like
Read
live
the
in
room.
the world. Like don't be in a vacuum, like where you're not understanding what's going on in life, so you don't understand like, hey, it's not a good time to like make that joke or whatever. So generally, I like to be very forgiving when people like toe that line, and with like accents, like sometimes it's hilarious, and I'm like, no, that's good. That's racist. You probably shouldn't tell that everywhere, but that's good. Like that, whatever. So anyway, that's my kind of like fat, like loose rule on comedy and using accents and things like that. But also like, as you're reading the room, know who you are, right? So like, if you are, this white person, like, and your comedy like uses the N-word, it's probably not. It's probably not going to be that funny. It's probably not going to be funny enough.
Why is your go-to always to slander the white man?
I was just giving an example.
You don't like Louis C.K.?
Huh?
You don't like Jim what's his name? Jim Gaffigan?
Does he use the N-word? I actually like Jim Gaffigan.
He kind of got woke recently.
Yeah, he was shutting down a Karen the other day on Twitter. But that's not the point.
I like Jim Gaffigan.
He's slandering white people, and I'm not going to stand for it any episode longer.
But if you're black and you use, a stereotypical, like, Asian language, like, I just think that's racist and it's not usually funny.
Stereotypical Asian language.
I'm not going to do it. But...
Oh, the accent.
Like Chinese
or Indian. Like when they used to do the thing with the teeth. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, or
that's
the, like...
race-facing. That's not just, like, telling the casual joke.
Well, it depends on your age range. So if you come from that and that's like what you're, they would go hard.
Okay, so
Dong, where's my automobile?
Like Murder by Death is one of my favorite movies, which is like a whodunit clue type movie, but with a lot of the guy that played Columbo, Peter Sellers is in it, and he plays an Asian guy, and he's got the buck teeth. And I love Peter Sellers, but watching that movie,
it definitely doesn't hold up. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, like there's funny moments, but it's still kind of like the white teeth and all this. You're funny on your own.
I also think context is really important.
Yeah.
So let's talk Dave Chappelle show. When he is being a white supremacist, he's a black white supremacist, and he says something about Asians with your ching chang, like that kind of like whatever. And so the context, like where that is like an incredibly racist joke, the context is he's being an incredibly racist person, and the humor is he is a blind black individual who has been convinced that he's white. And so like, I don't know, like that toes the line.
That's too many layers, man.
But it's incredibly creative and it's incredibly whatever. And so you have to like, I don't know, you like play with how offensive that is.
Who has time to get that in depth with a joke?
But I think if you're going to tell a joke and you're going to put it on that kind of stage, it needs to be that thoughtful if it's going to be that offensive.
So if we don't go that deep,
and
we just look at something like Apu from The Simpsons, who was not an Indian person.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot to think about there. And I think, like, they did kind of get him out the paint for that. It took a while, but they kind of got him out the paint.
They didn't really get him out.
They did. There was a lot of, sort of for pressure on them to, like, change that character.
Yeah,
they ended up changing the character.
They pushed back on it hard.
Yeah. But eventually they got him out the paint.
Yeah, that's when they saw other things going on, because there was that documentary about Apu. I can't remember what it was called.
I know what you're talking about, but like
that was by
that was essentially them, like
they pushed back on that,
changing the room, and then the other people read the room, and they were like, "We need to do something about this."
Yeah, it was not immediate.
I'm not saying these are ever immediate. Like I said, like when that was happening, like it was probably funny, and now it doesn't hold up. And that was the same with Apu. Like now it doesn't hold up.
Well, it's different in the Simpsons case because nothing's really funny on their show anymore.
Okay. But like I think like over time stuff that we thought is hilarious is not going to hold up these days.
Well, if Conan had written it, then yeah, it would still be funny.
Okay, sure. I'm not a huge Conan fan.
No, there's that era of The Simpsons where Conan O'Brien was a writer.
Yeah, the first.
Something like that, yeah. It's like the monorail episode. Some of those episodes are just like, the pantheon of Simpsons classics.
I guess I was not into The Simpsons as much. You don't remember any of that.
I remember you talking about watching The Simpsons all the time when we were children.
You definitely do not remember that.
I do.
You definitely don't, because I did not watch The Simpsons that often.
Because I was like, what? Marlon watches The Simpsons and listens to Ludacris?
You probably heard me talk about an episode of The Simpsons and extrapolated that I watch it all the time, but that's not a case.
I did not extrapolate anything, sir.
What was funny about that?
Ludicrous. I don't know.
It was kind of pulled out of nowhere.
Like the Chicken and Beer album and that shit.
It was that one.
Yeah, okay.
That's the one with
That's
use
the era it
a
had to be.
Use a hoe.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Is that Chicken and Beer?
You would know more than I would because you had the album
Sure.
while you were watching The Simpsons.
I feel like that was such a small part of my life at any point.
That's the one thing I remember, and my memory is terrible.
Okay. Well, you definitely held on to something very minuscule.
I did. You know what else I remembered?
Oh gosh. What?
So the night before I was to leave to Houston,
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to get all my stuff together. I was like, I got to do laundry and I got to make sure the house is clean for the cats. That didn't happen because I passed out. I literally fainted. It was weird. It was the first time it ever happened. I was like, well, so I had been drinking, kids. I hadn't eaten anything all day. I worked a long ass shift at work.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah. But it was in rush mode.
Said that from a person who doesn't drink. Like, rookie mistake. It was what mode?
It was rush mode.
Oh, because you needed to pack quickly?
Yeah, because I told y'all that I was on call, on standby. Mm-hmm. So they were like, all right, you're leaving tomorrow. I was like, oh, well, thanks for giving me this late shift that I got to get everything done in a certain time. So anyways, I get home. I'm trying to get everything prepared. And I'm like, hey, let me feed these outside kitties so they can be my friends. So I was hand feeding them. They were like, I was like, all right, cool. We're kind of friends now. And I came back into the house and I closed the door and I kind of leaned on it. And I was like, because I was bending down and I stood up. So the blood rush.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm leaning up against the door and I'm like, this Jay-Z still banging. And I just like fell over. Had my headphones on, was listening to the Blueprint. And I remember just waking up. And I was like, why is my cheek cold? Am I on the floor? What in the world happened? Meanwhile, in my ear is like, H to the Izzo! I was like, well, at least I can still hear. I still have taste.
I still have taste.
So it wasn't coronavirus.
I don't think it's that kind of taste that you lose. But wouldn't that be hilarious? Like,
You get COVID?
I lost my taste, man.
Like, well,
Jay-Z just don't sound the same.
It's like, oh, you can't taste the apples? Like, no.
No.
I started listening to Jimmy Buffett. And I enjoy it.
It's so good. I literally cannot name a Jimmy Buffett song.
There you go.
I not tell you I've never heard that song.
Like, that one word is like a whole franchise.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up. But you picked Jimmy Buffett, but you just threw Jimmy Buffett under the bus. I mean, I don't care because I literally couldn't tell you if you put him in a lineup with like all black people and Jimmy Buffett, I still wouldn't know which one Jimmy Buffett was.
So are you talking about like if he, the individual, was in the lineup with black people? You would know.
Would I?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the white guy with the white shoes.
Yeah, he looks like a boiled crab.
I'm just saying, there could be a Jimmy Buffett that's black too. I just wouldn't know. Now, if you told me like, hey, which one of these people sings like, is he country?
No, it's
yacht music.
Yeah.
Yacht music?
Yeah, it's a lot of guitar and
Yeah, if you like play the song, and you're like, which one is the recording? Like, this is this song. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's the white guy.
See,
I didn't love
There you
him until
go.
I got COVID. I've lost my taste. That's hilarious.
oh, that's disgusting.
That's what it looks like now.
Yeah, it looks like a boiled crab.
What? All right, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They're like Larry from SpongeBob, but not like swole. So I guess Mr. Krabs.
He looks a little. Never mind. Okay. Anywho. Wait. So that's how you started your
Yeah,
"I'm gone for a week" by fainting on your floor.
yeah.
All right.
Favorite Jimmy Buffett album?
So
Excuse
When
me?
did you recover?
Oh no, I got my taste back.
well, his taste never left because he woke up to Jay-Z and it was great.
Oh man, it's still banging.
It's still
Yeah.
banging. What?
My shoulder's sore.
I feel like your week had to have gotten better from there. Did it not?
I mean, I didn't faint anymore.
Okay. Is that it? Is that it?
Drove out to Houston. Just put up in a nice hotel.
Okay.
Food in this?
Oh wait, that night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I don't want to do this again. So let me chef up something real quick. This is how I cook.
Yeah, apparently.
Just with my hands. Yeah, drove out to Houston. They put us up in a nice hotel downtown. And from there, we had to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours, depending on traffic, to Beaumont every day.
Every day.
Yeah, Monday
Why
through
didn't they
Friday.
just put you in a nice hotel closer to Beaumont?
I didn't have any. And we needed to be in between Beaumont and Orange because those were the stores that we were helping out.
Let's see.
Yeah. Bless you, sir.
Jeez. I feel like, okay. You know how I feel about this.
Well, about Beaumont?
No, about the idea that, like, they didn't pay you any extra for all of this, like...
No, they did.
Okay, but, like, I know they paid you for, like, your work.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid you for, like, your gas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, when you were working,
Yeah.
they paid you extra. Okay. Because you told me they weren't. I was like, this seems real shady.
Well, there's a lot of things that got added up into that. So the mileage, the drive time, we turn in our receipts.
For food and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But I mean, like...
Okay, yeah.
Like, your base pay. Did they, like, throw a couple bucks on that base pay while you're working?
Not really, but kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So since COVID started, we have been getting...
No. This is like...
For this specifically.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, no. Which is fine.
Okay.
Because, the next paycheck is going to be looking kind of nice.
I'm happy for you. I'm
I
very
am
glad. I
too.
feel like it should look nicer. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just protective of you.
Oh.
I'm
Sweet.
with Marlon on this. And like before this really first started, I was doing the same thing with my job because I feel like even when we got hired, I felt like we were being underpaid.
Mm. Well, yeah, that's capitalism, man.
Yeah.
So, in order to change the system, we have to become the system.
But in your position, you're doing things that no one else is really doing. Whether it's your choice or not to be in that doesn't factor into you needing that extra pay on top of what you're already getting, on top of whatever other perks they're going to give you to, subsidize your help.
Yes. Thanks, man. I like how y'all spent more time talking about me working than me passing out on the floor.
Hey, look, stuff happens. Like
You got to know your worth. You don't let those things happen.
Right? See, if they paid you more, you would have had food already. You would have to drink on an empty stomach.
They would have given you the day off beforehand.
Yeah.
Instead of making you work, you wouldn't have had to be in that situation.
You wouldn't have been Russian. You could have eaten.
But I'm not Russian. And I can't do that accent either. Even though I have the hat. But, no.
You really...
Just start with that.
Duh. Is that a drink?
No, it's the name of the author.
Come on, dude.
Oh. Don Quixote. Yeah,
No,
my man.
That's Cervantes.
Do y'all remember that cartoon?
Yeah.
Don
Sorry,
Quixote?
we're gonna stop and say that Crime and Punishment is what George Sioki wrote, because I don't want people just like out here like they don't know.
Nobody's gonna watch this.
That's true. It's fine.
John B.
He said they don't know.
I don't know about you and me. Put it out your mind, cause it's jealousy. They don't know about this here. Did you really just not know any of those words until we got to the...
Nah, I knew a little bit.
Okay.
You got a little something right here.
Probably.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what friends do. So, if we're ever in a situation...
Before we started this, but that's fine.
No, it wasn't there before we started.
Gotcha.
It just migrated its way to the middle of your face. Right. But I got you.
I appreciate it.
See? That's what true friends do. Especially if we out in public and I'm like, hey, there's a nice looking person over there that I want to get to know better. And I roll up on them like, duh. And if I have something on my face and you've been with me the whole time and then they're like, yit. And then they walk away.
Okay, so should we take this moment to tell you that that hat is completely unnecessary?
Is it?
Yes.
It's cold.
It's not cold.
It's chilly.
Not even a little bit. Certainly not chilly enough for that hat.
But it's 76 degrees in my house.
It's probably not.
That's the cats making it hot.
That's not a thing.
What? Look at them.
Yeah. I'm unsure what I was supposed to extrapolate from looking at your cat, but I didn't somehow get really hot. I can tell you that.
So, is there any recorded evidence of us maybe not being as truthful as we purport to be? Or well, I'm just throwing it out there. When we're recording in general, are we who we are behind the scenes when we're in front of the scenes, in the scenes, between the scenes? Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
But I don't know Marlon as personally as I do.
That's true.
It's true. So both of y'all can vouch for me being the same person.
I'm still saying no.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, so let me say that. Okay, so you are generally, like, we are generally these people.
Yes.
But there are conversations that we would have in private that we would never have in front of a camera.
Well, I would say give me an example, but
that would defeat the purpose of the private conversations.
Yeah. But in those private conversations, we're honest and we're genuine.
But there are things that I would never, like, there are things that I would tell you that I wouldn't say in front of other people.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. But if we were, let's say, I don't know.
But you don't put on a front, and I don't put on a front. Like, I don't like have a persona that jumps on here that So like, for example, like when I go on rants, I don't like do that on video and not in real life. Right. Like, I annoy you with those rants in real life just as much as I'm going to annoy you with those rants on video.
Yeah, the difference is that I can leave.
You can. You don't, but you could.
Yeah. So, yes, awesome, amazing.
What is happening right now?
So, I'm just saying, if we're in a situation where you have some insider knowledge about something that's affecting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, I know where you're going. Okay.
Like, would you keep that as a private conversation? Like, hey, we just keep that between us.
Well, I didn't want to institute a panic. And so, I downplayed it. I still like to downplay it because, I needed to be presidential. I consider myself the cheerleader of the country. Yeah. And, so it wasn't a lie. It was nasty of you to phrase that question that way. Well, I'm right. That's what you were getting at?
Did he lie to the American people?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Finally.
Okay, so the thing is, he could have I will just say this. The idea of not wanting to start a panic is not a compelling argument for me for not being honest, right? Because you can be honest, hey, this thing is being spread through, because he knew this. He had an understanding of this. This thing is being spread through
the air.
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of the air, but yeah, this thing is being spread through the air. So it's going to behoove you to not hang out in groups and to wear masks and things like that. And don't get me wrong, what's the people's names? CDC hadn't suggested wearing masks everywhere yet. But even when they did, he was very late to hop on something that would have been very effectual and very helpful to anybody, but especially to people who listen to him. And so the idea that he's not trying to start a panic is not compelling to me, especially when you could save lives if you just wore a mask and told people to wear a mask, especially if you have understood that this thing is spread through the air.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
February.
Let me go ahead and stop you.
Okay.
So the thing that you are conveniently leaving out is that our president, you're an American, you're a North American of the United States of America. Yeah.
So you're president.
Your president.
Just go.
And my president has been fighting for our liberty and our freedom of if we want to wear masks or not. You conveniently left that out of your long-winded rant.
That wasn't even long, but I'll show you long now.
What she...
Wow.
Well,
did she?
She could have. Huh?
Okay. I did not leave that out. That is not overly important.
But it is. That's what this country was founded on, was the freedom to do anything that you want to do within the laws.
I don't think that's what this country was founded on. Well, I would say this country, one, not necessarily what this country was founded on. Two,
First Amendment.
Okay, but the country was founded before the First Amendment.
Okay.
And that even if you take that and say that's what the country is founded on, this country, the country that was founded on that is not the same as the country we live in now. For good reason. And the people who would have benefit, and honestly still do benefit from that, understanding of freedom, often don't look like you or I.
Well, why don't you try telling that to Herman Cain? Very accomplished man who looks like us.
Who died of COVID-19.
That's beside the point.
Actually, I think it is generally the point. It's the idea that that somebody's freedom to not wear a mask may have contributed to his passing. Is Herman Cain free? Maybe he's more free than he's ever been. But I will say that somebody else's freedom to not wear a mask, lots of people's freedoms to not wear a mask, encroaches on freedom to life or pursuit of life.
Look, okay? Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. If you want to go the ways you want to go, that's freedom. That is true freedom. You over here with your little tinfoil Nancy Pelosi hat. Your kente cloth.
I was about to say, is it tinfoil kente? Is that
tinfoil kente?
Yeah, we need to start selling that. That would be good.
Yo, that'd be a great name for a restaurant.
Tinfoil kente?
Yeah, but a knockoff black restaurant.
What would they sell?
I don't know. Jessica Krug and Rachel Dolezal and Sean King would probably be the chefs there.
Wow, you just gonna throw Sean King in there?
Yeah, man.
Y'all don't mind? I got a question.
Yeah.
What is the deal with Sean King? I thought he was doing good work, but it seems like a lot of prominent faces in the greater Black Hollywood scholar community don't like this guy. And for the life of me, I don't know why.
Sean King has an interesting history when it comes to promotions and donations. Yeah. So he's helped set up charities for like, I believe it was Tamir Rice.
Yeah, he does like to brag about all that stuff.
Yeah, without the family's knowledge. And so he raised money and they never saw any of it. So nobody knows what he did with it. And he's like, oh, I did things with it for people. Black Power.
Okay. This first popped up with me when he received some award personally from Rihanna at some award ceremony. People on Twitter were trying to get her shit for.
Yeah, I remember that.
Award, right?
Yeah, D-Ray came out with an op-ed just completely assassinating Sean King's character. Yeah. I just think it's funny every time he gets trending for saying something. His name isn't the first or the highest that's trending. It's like Talcum X or Martin Luther Cream. What's another one?
Those are clever.
W.E.B. Defraud.
That's clever.
So the thing about that, though.
What? Sean King? Or are we going back?
No, we're Sean King.
Oh, okay.
Those names were crowned by Black Twitter. Mm-hmm. So every time he says something now, the conservative group has done what everybody does with us. They appropriated this shit.
They co-opted the names.
No, they appropriated.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's right up there with like
Yeah, this came from us for somebody who is supposedly one of us. Mm. And I think the prevailing thought there is, hey, no, this is off limits. Y'all call him something else. You cannot call him Martin Luther Cream. It took y'all long enough to get Martin Luther King's name right. It was like a couple years ago, there was a politician somewhere in the South who was talking about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther Coon. I mean, excuse me. He's an older white guy. He comes from that generation. Those people in those circles are still.
He maybe has more practice saying it the first way than the second way.
Yeah.
We're about to have to hop off, but I want to ask you about the kid with the gun in a virtual classroom. That sounds worse than it really was. I should probably explain this better. So, what is that face? Virtual classroom.
Yes.
And there's a kid who the teacher essentially notes, hey, he struggles to pay attention. And his parents would be like, he struggles to pay attention. He has ADHD.
Right.
Anyway, he had apparently a toy. Now, don't get me wrong. This is virtual classroom. So he's at home.
Yeah.
Doing class via computer.
Yeah.
And apparently they see this kid move a gun from one side to the other. Now, this gun does not look real. It literally says Zombie Hunter on it, and it's lime green. Like part of this, I don't know parts of guns, but this part, lime green. Mm-hmm. And the teacher called the police and had those police come to the house to check on this fake gun, very clearly fake gun, and this child was suspended from school.
So you're telling me we have to add this to the list of things to not do while black.
Okay, but I feel like having a toy gun was already on this list, but I could see how, as a parent, you might be like, hey, in the house, you can't leave the house without this. But now, you can't even be in the house with a very clearly fake gun.
It said Zombie Hunter on it?
It says Zombie Hunter.
Well,
now, don't get me wrong, the teacher probably can't see Zombie Hunter on the gun.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe that's what adults call their guns too. Who knows? No. It was lime green and clearly plastic.
Well, I don't want to say the teacher did the right thing because they didn't. But in their mind, they saw how many. So this is virtual classroom.
Yeah.
On Zoom.
Yeah. So probably a bunch of students on a page.
Right. Do we know how many other black kids there were in the?
We do not know.
Okay. So she probably just saw a super thug anyways, and was like, yeah, he's getting an education. He's trying to do the right thing. And then he moved the gun in a menacing way across the screen. And then she was like, yo. Well, she didn't say yo. Of course she didn't say yo. My name is Karen, and there's a black thuggish child on my classroom, our virtual classroom.
At least she knows the kid.
His name is Tyrone.
What is a super thug, and why are we referring to this like sixth grade kid?
I don't know. Ask white people.
Also, I feel like Karen is one of those things that's being co-opted by the right, but it's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, they're doing stuff for Clout now. They're clout chasing Karens.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. This is another thing where I'm just like, live in the world. Like, read the room.
Who?
The teacher.
Or the student.
The teacher, the administration, all that stuff. First of all, we don't just like flippantly call the police to somebody's house, to black people's houses anymore.
Who doesn't do that?
I'm saying we shouldn't. I'm saying we ought not flippantly call the police to black people's houses. Like, that's not something that like goes well.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me say this: it has the potential to go quite badly.
In many cases, it has.
Yeah, exactly. And so, the idea that like, and she even said, like, as she was making this report, you know, I think it's a fake gun, but I don't know.
So what was her reasoning for calling the police? Did she think that he was going to shoot up the virtual school? Because this don't do that.
Not only that, but the school wrote the suspension like this person brought a firearm into the school. Like the way they worded the suspension is as if like he's at home.
Oh, I forgot to clock out. Let me
listen. If I got a shirt on, I've done all I needed to do for your like, you need to lower your expectations. Like, especially if I'm a child, like, it's hard enough. True story. My attention span for any class is about 45 minutes. Like, when I was I'm still in graduate school. As a graduate student, when I still took classes and classes were 3 hours, I struggled so hard. Them teachers had to know that I was falling asleep. Like, there just wasn't. And so the idea that like I need to like stare at a computer screen for such like, I'm however old I am, and I don't think I would make that. So to like have a child need to try and accomplish that all day is crazy. And so the fact that he like has a toy, and it's not like he was like, you know, brace yourself, fool, and pointed it at the, like, that's not what this child did. This child was just like, oh, this gun belongs over here. Like, I don't know. But the point is, like, I don't know why this was like elevated to a level, like this could have been ignored. And for some reason, this is elevated to a level of, we suspended a kid for moving a toy from one side to the other. Like, if this had been a Ninja Turtle, which essentially, that's what the gun looked like. The gun looked like if a Ninja Turtle had a gun. It was lime green. If a Ninja Turtle had a gun, this is what the gun would look like.
Okay, so I hate to say it, but if you're suggesting that Ninja Turtles would ever carry guns to murder people, well, maybe the teacher was in the right.
They have swords.
Yeah, but they don't use them.
The Ninja Turtles absolutely do use their swords.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay? Go back and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
With, what's that dude's name?
That guy.
Yeah, he's also in Surf Ninjas.
Lil Kino. Yeah, I think that's what his name was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Ernie Reyes Jr., that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's Kino in there.
Okay.
Ernie Reyes Jr., that's right. Good old Ernie Reyes Jr.
Kwanzaa, dudes!
Yeah. No, there's a scene when they're creeping up on Shredder's junkyard or something, and they get snatched up in this net.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he has swords that he doesn't use them?
Leonardo's swords are sitting there on their back. They're struggling, trying to get out. They're like, what are we going to do, bros? It's like, you can just like.
I never thought about that.
He never pulls them out in the entire movie. You know why?
Because they're dangerous.
Because parents wanted to cancel the Ninja Turtles after the first movie because it was too violent. Because they saw these Ninja Turtles
I'm sorry.
using their weaponry. This is what happens. Anytime somebody's dark, they look at us all the same.
So are the turtles dark? Or do we consider them dark?
Yeah. Okay. It was like those nigga turtles. They're influencing my child. They said, damn, don't have them cuss. So they didn't do any of that in the sequel.
Interesting.
And
so they had Ernie Reyes Jr. do all the
exactly. The opening scene. Michelangelo isn't using his nunchucks. Exactly. See?
Cold cut combo.
Yep.
Y'all remember this movie very vividly.
Just as an aside, when my son was old enough to understand watching movies like from 3 to 5, like 4 or 5 times a week, we'd be watching secret movies. I mean, not like every week. But there was like always those weeks where like I need to watch this movie today.
Yep. Typical.
There are worse movies that you could have.
No, I love that movie. I wore out the VHS tape of mine when I was a kid, so I get it.
I watched it a lot too when I was younger.
No, you know what I can't watch these days?
What?
Ninja Turtles 3. Turtles in Time.
I don't think I ever watched that one.
I tried watching it like 5 years ago, I think. It's free on YouTube. Cool. I love Ninja Turtles. I haven't seen this in a long time. The nostalgia. I hit play, and it starts up, and it's okay. They look a little more plasticky than normal. Yeah. And then they roll up on Splinter in their little sewer home, and he's in like the train station, and Donatello walks up to him and says, "Hey, what's up, Master Splinter?" And Splinter's like, "Hello, my child. How are you today?" I was like, "Oh no, they Chuck E. Cheesed him."
Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. They Chuck E. Cheese did. I feel like that's your fault for trying to watch Turtles in Time. But I will say there are a lot of movies that you watch as kids that when you like see it as an adult, you're like, "Oh, this is mad corny."
Yeah.
Three Ninjas is mad. I'll still watch Three Ninjas, but it's mad corny.
But it's so funny.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think Ninja Turtles. Surf Ninjas is mad corny too, but I loved Surf Ninjas when I was growing up.
They're so bad, they're good.
Yeah. All right.
So with that, I think it's time to get out of here, guys.
It really is.
Yeah. So, audience, friends, fellow country people.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for stopping by for a slice of black apple pie.
I'm mad that we talked about your week, but we didn't talk about mine. I'm just kidding. I'm not
I
mad
asked. He said, "Yeah, it was all right."
I don't think I said that.
You did.
Okay.
And then he asked a question about accents.
And there it went.
Yeah. It's fine. Oh, am I going to be the only one doing a pose, or are you already in pose mode?
I mean, you don't have to care about what happened in my week. It's fine.
What happened in your week, Marlon?
No, we're done here.
Oh, okay. Well, see y'all next time
on
Black Apple Pie Podcast.
And I can't wait no more. Plus I can think that I just don't feel at a place no more. And I'm the one that made that.